Why do you need to read English? You might think, I can learn English just by listening and speaking, but reading is also very important. Let me explain why. When I first started learning English, I was very excited. I listened to English songs and watched English movies. I practiced speaking with my friends. I thought I was doing great. But then, one day, I tried to read an English book. It was a simple book for children, but it was very hard for me. I didn't understand many words. The sentences looked strange. I didn't know the grammar rules. I felt very confused and frustrated. I didn't like reading. Reading seemed like a lot of work compared to just listening and speaking. I avoided reading for a long time. I preferred watching movies and talking to people. Reading felt like a chore. It was slow and difficult. I had to look up many words in the dictionary. I felt like I was not making progress. I thought, why bother with reading when I can learn by listening and speaking? But then, something happened that changed my mind. One day at work, I had to write an email in English. It was an important email to a client. I wanted to start the email with the sentence, I hope this email finds you well. I knew what it meant, but I didn't know how to write it. I was missing words, and some were spelled wrong. I felt embarrassed. I had to use Google Translate to check my writing. That moment made me realize that I needed to read more to learn how to write words correctly. When I was learning English, I had a problem. I could understand English pretty well. I could listen and speak with no trouble. But when I tried to read out loud, I didn't pronounce the words correctly. I felt embarrassed and confused. How could I understand English so well but still struggle with reading? One day, my English teacher, Miss Thompson, noticed my problem. She asked me to read a paragraph out loud. As I read, she listened carefully. After I finished, she smiled and said, "You understand English very well, but your pronunciation needs some work. Do you know why?" I shook my head. I had no idea. Miss Thompson explained, "When you only listen and speak, you learn words by sound. But when you read, you see how words are written. English is tricky because some words are not pronounced the way they are spelled. Reading helps you connect the sound of the word with its spelling." She continued, "Reading out loud is very important. It helps you practice pronunciation and understand the relationship between letters and sounds. It will make your speaking clearer and more accurate." Miss Thompson was right. Reading out loud helped me a lot. It made my pronunciation better and my understanding deeper. So, if you have the same problem, try reading out loud. It will help you connect sounds with letters and improve your pronunciation. Reading opened a new world for me. It helped me understand English much better. Learning English is like building a house. Listening and speaking are the foundation, but reading and writing are the walls and roof. Without them, your house is incomplete. Why reading is so important when you are learning English. There are many reasons, and I want to share them with you. These reasons will help you understand why you should start reading today. Number 1. Reading is great for improving your vocabulary. You will come across many new words. Sometimes you don't even need a dictionary because you can understand these words from the context of the book. Also, you are likely to memorize new and familiar words well because they are repeated throughout the book. Repetition helps transfer information from short-term to long-term memory, allowing you to expand and retain your vocabulary better. Number 2. Reading is very good for your grammar. Just like with vocabulary, you will encounter various grammar structures, both familiar and new, in different contexts. You will see these structures repeatedly, which helps you understand and remember them. This way, reading expands your grammar knowledge and reinforces it in your memory. Number 3. Reading is crucial for learning in general. It helps you learn about other aspects of the language, such as word definitions, grammar structures, writing instructions, and general advice on improving English. To understand this information well, you need good reading comprehension. Number 4. Reading is convenient to practice. Practicing English regularly is important. Listening may not always be possible, or you might not have a suitable partner for speaking practice. But to start reading, you just need to open a book. If you prefer electronic books, you can have a whole library on your smartphone, making reading easy and accessible anytime. Number 5. Reading helps you learn about the world. Think about all the things you read in your native language: news, fiction, websites, forums, stories, jokes, cookbooks, manuals, and more. Improving your English reading comprehension opens up a vast world of knowledge. Over 80% of the information on the internet is in English, and much of it is in text form. Good reading skills are essential for accessing this information. As you can see, reading is not just something you do because your teacher told you to. It is a key skill that expands your vocabulary and grammar and provides ample English practice. Plus, it can be a lot of fun with all the great books, funny stories, and useful websites available in English. Think of it this way. If you only listen and speak, it's like learning half the language. Imagine trying to build a puzzle, but only having half of the pieces. You can see some of the picture, but it's not complete. You might miss out on the full picture. When you listen and speak, you learn important skills. You can talk to people and understand what they say. This is great. But without reading, you miss a lot. You miss the details, the grammar rules, and many new words. Now, think about what happens when you read. When you read, you get all the pieces of the puzzle. You see how sentences are made. You learn the rules of grammar. You find new words and understand how to use them. Reading completes the picture. It makes your English clear and strong. Reading is like putting the last pieces of the puzzle in place. You understand the whole language, the rules, the vocabulary, and the beauty of it. You can enjoy stories, write your own emails, and read signs without any problem. So don't just stop at listening and speaking. Start reading too. It will make your English much better and more complete. But I know that learning English can sometimes feel very hard. Have you ever felt like it's just too difficult? I used to feel the same way. That's why I made another video just for you. In it, I share my own struggles and how I overcame them. I think it will help you a lot. Click here to watch the next video. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. I have some great tips and stories that will help you stay motivated and make learning English easier.